Happy Saturday, y'all. It's your girl, Lo May.
And the living Esther Jade.
And it is Saturday, so y'all know what that means.
Yes,
it's time for
Girl What podcast.
So today, y'all, this is a little throwback for most of us millennials.
Mm-hmm.
And once I say this, y'all know y'all gonna bust out laughing. But today's episode is called "I'm Tired of This, Grandpa." So let's get into it. I hope y'all enjoy. Sit back, enjoy the ride.
All right, so let's talk about in What's the Tea, Sis? Well, too damn bad. So what's this one's about? We're going to be talking about August celebrations off the top, right? So we're going to talk about National Civility Month. So, yeah, that's what month it is for August. National Civility Month.
And as we always say, to look it up.
Yep, go look it up.
Do your research.
Go on a search engine, not Google.
Period. All right. So, as we said, this episode is called "I'm Tired of This, Grandpa." And then y'all know Grandpa's follow-up, well, too damn bad. All right, so let's jump into it. Most millennials have seen the movie Holes, and we know, the quotes that we just said very well. Some of us use it more often in everyday conversations than we will probably like to admit. But in today's climate, that quote we often laugh at could be applied to so many serious issues going on. During today's episode, we're going to take some time to talk about a few things we're tired of and provide some suggestions, on how we think it could and should change. Buckle up. We're here to get y'all talking yet again.
Oh, yes. So I'm going to ask you the first question.
Okay.
What's one thing going on in Richmond that's gained a lot of attention recently, but you're like, well, too damn bad? What has caused you to react in that manner? This is a good one.
Right now, actually, let me tell you the truth. My news has been off, just because I started to get overwhelmed with everything. And I say that because with me being a mass comm major, I used to OD watching the news, seeing everything that's going on, just locally and nationally.
It's like overkill. Almost.
Right. Yeah. And so now a lot of people will be like, oh, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? And I will be like, no, what happened or what's going on? Because it's just something where it's I just can't deal. One thing though, that I will say, I think, and this is kind of dating when we're recording this, but the 6-year-old that drowned.
At the north side swim RVA location. Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, a couple of, I don't even know if it was a week, but
it burned down.
It burned down. And, that's one thing where I'm like, well, I don't know.
Well, too damn bad.
Right. It was, and honestly, I haven't seen any more updates about it, but is it something where, it was karma? Or is it something where somebody intentionally said it because, of course, there was going to be an investigation going on?
Well, they said it was caused by lightning.
They say.
But I mean, what are you going to do? Test the pool water? I mean, this seems more of witness statements. I mean, the mother had said that her son, she let the staff know that her son didn't know how to swim.
Right.
So they should have been extra cautious.
But the thing is with that also, I think that's what pissed me off. You're at a school to learn how to swim. So in the class that he was in, I'm going to make a positive assumption.
Well, it was actually a summer camp, but
even with that, he was doing a swim class. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you're taking a swim class, and I know from my back in the days of trying to take a swim class, they had it broken up for people who were beginners, intermediate, advanced. So I could probably bet 99.9% that he was in a beginner's class. You know what I'm saying? So for you to even think that it's okay for you to take your eyes off of a child, honestly, even if a parent says that they are an advanced swimmer, it's a minor. Things can happen. Yep. So whoever is responsible should be held accountable 2,000%, because I would raise hell. And I honestly give kudos to a lot of these parents who have been going through things lately, because it's I understand you have to, remain a certain way, especially as a black parent, because they're going to say, specifically a black woman, you're an angry black woman. In all actuality, when you have the right to be, because my son is now dead, and us being mothers, like, know how this could be firsthand. So it's something that really, again, I want to give kudos to these mothers, because I will be showing my whole butt. Like, you're going to know me, and I don't care if I have that negative black woman persona that they want to throw out there. No, I just lost my child because of your negligence. So you're going to know who I am. You will continue to know my child's name, and I will not rest until something can be done. Of course, I can't get my child back, but until something is done. I see you researching over there. What you looking at?
Yes, I just want to say R.I.P. to King Overton, the 9-year-old little boy that passed away, and condolences to his mother. Please stay strong, and we want justice for him.
For sure.
So what I think is just what's going on in Richmond that has gained a lot of attention now. Lo and I like to trade reels and memes and all this stuff. But one of them I did, I think it was a couple weeks ago, was a young black woman who was talking about her experience where she basically was, I don't think accosted is the right word, but like she was approached by this guy and she was like saying no thank you, and it was like he was not respecting her boundary when she was like saying no thank you. Right. And she was talking like, is there something in the water at Richmond? And I was like, there's something all in the water everywhere. What are you talking about? But I thought that was so funny. And she was saying basically how she sees how white women have given up dating and marriage and having children with men. So I'm like, yeah, too damn bad.
Listen, and the thing is, again, so many men bring that on themselves. So it's like, you try to point the finger at the woman, but it's like, no is a complete sentence, as I will always say, and I will always stand by. I do not need to give you any explanation as to why I am saying no.
Yep.
You need to take my no. Yes, your ego might be hurt, but you can go cry in the corner by yourself. I'm still not going to pat your back. No is no, period.
But what I blame that on is their entitlement, right? So ideally, what happens when you're raising young boys is that they get things handed to them, and that they're, the same thing what happens with when we're talking about, white delusion, where people who are in the white delusion don't respect black bodies and emotions and things like that. It's similar to men who have been males that have been raised to believe that they are owed something, especially by women and children, right? And but now it's like too damn bad, y'all.
Well, too damn bad. Listen, because it's like, again, I think I've always said this. This is another one of my, I need to find like a word for my grandma's quotes, right? Enough is enough and too much stinks. So it's like, like, again, we're tired.
I need a nap.
Tired. What'd you say?
I need a nap.
Listen.
Rip Van Winkle me. Look, wake me up when this is all over.
Part, when I'm gray, like, I'm okay with that, because it's like the cycle needs to be broken.
Oh my God, yes.
But
generational trauma needs to end.
If the same thing, like, it needs to be broken more so, like you said, on the entitlement piece. And I feel like once that has been broken, because it will be broken.
Oh yes.
It'll be almost like a utopia.
As close as we can get to it.
Right. Like I really feel like that, because it's like, okay, once you get rid of your delusion, then women can feel more safe, and things can begin to start, like, feel like we're floating on air in a sense, without feeling like we can
breathe.
Down. Right.
Well, in the meantime, I'm making plans to live in an all-woman town, commune, et cetera, et cetera.
Do they have those?
Yeah.
Never knew.
I'm in a Patreon group where the women are talking about buying up a town and, or starting a commune together, and I'm all for it.
Okay, this is a side note, but it's hilarious, right? There was this lady, I don't know if you sent it to me or I sent it to you, but again, going back to, we always send each other reels. I think you might have sent it to me, but the lady who said she wanted to buy Hill, because there was like a small town, I think in like Michigan or something like that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that would be
I think
women
I remember
from
that.
Hell.
Listen,
That would be
oh,
hilarious.
that is funny. I think that is hilarious.
Now that would be
I'm a
good
woman
one.
from hell.
Right. Like, what? Like, no, that's where I live. Like, look at my address. That would be hilarious.
Was it in Michigan?
Yeah. I think it
Hell,
was, like,
Michigan.
I was about to say, I think it was like in Michigan, but it was like a very small town that she was trying to buy. But that just it made me think about that when you said like an all women, like
Make a
that,
whole theme around it, propaganda, making
That would be
people scared,
hilarious.
men specifically, to come there.
Like, come to hell.
You know, you gotta get my laugh on too. So what's something that has been going on in Richmond that hasn't gotten enough attention, and you wish people weren't seeming like they were saying well too damn bad? Why do you think it's not getting the attention it should be getting?
I want to preface it with this. I'm not going to say that it's not getting any attention at all, but I feel like because it is Richmond, to me, there should be much more attention spotlighted on this. And I just think, kind of like what we do, like, spotlighting the Black entrepreneurs, because there are so many Black businesses that are in the area. And it's just like when you look, it's like, wow, like, I'm really proud of us. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like, I wish just, even like with the restaurants, like, restaurants and stuff like that really get their boom, especially during like the restaurant week and stuff like that. But it's like, okay, there are so many other, different businesses that are Black owned, Black minority owned, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that we can just like shine lights on. And like I said, I feel like we do a good job of like finding people or knowing people, and we're like, yes, y'all, like, come spotlight, yourself on our
platform.
show.
Yes,
Platform, right?
we need
Because,
you.
like,
Yes.
and so this
We
is
can
also a
sponsor
shout
you.
out if you are, a Black owned business and you want to get some
Minority
shine,
owned.
like, yes, minority owned, anything, like, we definitely welcome you. Hit us up, because we would
Come on.
love to have you on, and sit on the couch with us.
Yes. Tell us more about your business and what sparked your the interest to do it. And because everybody wants to hear a story, and what it seems like, because of what's happening right now with the workforce, where women are strategically being pushed out of it, that and minorities. This is very well known. I mean, it's happened to me, and both of us, and trying to find other ways of earning income. And what I don't like is going out there and not attaining something that is. So what I think is not talked about enough is how this unemployment is affecting people, specifically women and people of color and queer folk, and how this really impacts their livelihood just to live a comfortable life. And I'm not talking about, having money to take their boat out and things like that. Right. I think we need to start talking about that, but start being more in community. I recently started following. So I think one of the things that don't get enough attention, and, we normally don't do shout outs to businesses, but I had to go and do some work over one weekend, and I went to Gold Lion, and they have a sign at the register talking about donate money, so that you can pay it for someone else to have a meal. And I said, if we did that more often, do you know how great, like how fortunate and like awesome that would be, and how many mouths that would feed? I think it's the what's that vegan place at Philly Vegan? They're on Hull Street Road. They do
collaborate.
They do. I think once or twice a year they do this thing where you buy with what you have as much as you can, but they have a set menu, which I think is really great too. We need to start thinking more like that. And yes, tax the hell out of the billionaires out of existence.
And then I was going to say, I know even this year, because they have done it already once this year, Philly Vegan, they've expanded the restaurants that they collaborate with. So there were like restaurants even down in Petersburg that were doing it this year. The first one they did. So, hopefully, like you said, something that'll continue, and it'll keep getting bigger, because again, as we always preach, community is pretty much all we have at this point. So, definitely, we just want to keep that. We want to lock in communities. Like we always say, we're more alike than we are different.
That's
so
right.
That's something that definitely needs to be be pounded into people's heads so they can understand that. Like, just because I may not necessarily look like you behind the scenes,
But we're
behind
all
closed
brown
doors,
people.
I was gonna say, you never really know, how much we have the same, unless you could sit down, even like doing something like community meals with people that you may not have those meals with typically, because it's like, you know what, like, we have so much in common, but I would never have known this about you if I didn't have that opportunity to sit down and have a community meal. But y'all, we are going to go to a quick break and we will continue the conversation after. Y'all stay tuned.
And welcome back on this beautiful Saturday. Hopefully it's beautiful for you to Girl Whet podcast. And we're going to jump back into, I'm tired of this, Grandpa, into our second segment of Love, Baby, and Other Grownfolx Business. And we're going to be talking about lizards. 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 So keeping with the whole theme, there were a lot of lizards that were in the film. For those who may not know, lizards symbolize adaptability, intuition. No, did I say that right? Intuition. Sometimes I read words; they look different in my head.
Listen, it happens. No judgment.
And transformation, often serving as messengers of change and personal growth. So let's jump right into the questions. We know times have been extremely tough over the past decade, if not longer, for millennials navigating this weird space we've been in. Knowing what the lizard represents, do you feel that hard times we've been through have forced personal growth for most of us sooner than we may have wanted it to occur?
Hell yeah. Sorry.
You sounded like Huey from Boondocks.
So that's, I have to tell you that off where I got that from. But okay. No, seriously, yes, because it's like, I tell people this all the time. I am, good or bad, I'm so sick of living through mental moments.
Like, no, you get no rest.
Yeah. And I'm like, good, bad, or indifferent. Like, even for the things that are like, millennials are, between a certain age gap, then it'll start listing everything that we've been through or that we've witnessed. And it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like this for other, other, what do you call it?
Generations.
Yeah, other generations as well. But I don't, like, for me, I just feel like it's so much. So, kind of going back to what we were saying before, we're tired.
Oh, yeah.
Tired. And it's not even just...
I haven't heard the boomers say they're tired. They got their little checks and they good.
Right. Look, I was about to say, look.
Until they're not.
But that's what I laugh at, because even Mona now is of that age where she can get her little check and she be like, wait for my check. I'm like, go on, girl. It's like, you
look, I love that for them, but like, we're definitely not going to get that.
Yeah.
I really feel like the system's going to blow up before that. For the better, though.
But say it'll be different. So, of course, there will be a silver lining, but just waiting to get there, it can be overwhelming and everything like that. And then, yeah, it's definitely, I feel like it's caused me to, have to grow up sooner than I necessarily wanted to. Like, and then also with the fact that not saying I was a young mother, but in a sense I was a young mother, like I was in my early 20s. So the combination of being a younger mother, then still having to deal with everything that's going on in the country around me, the combination of both, like, had me in a spiral. It did. So it's like, even when you're fighting mental illness and going through all of that, it's like, okay, well, I still have to get up and put on this smiley face and do, all of the things that outside wants me to do. And then I have to put on this smiley face for my child and everything like that. So it's like, I love my child down. And I tell him this all the time, but I was like, but if I had my way, I probably could, if I could redo everything, I would have pushed it back maybe 10 years. So it's like, give me a chance more so to live my life how I wanted to live it, instead of, again, having to be pushed into everything sooner on top of America doing what America does.
Well, the thing for me, the personal growth is, what it's taught me is to never get comfortable.
Yeah.
I think I've always known I'm not a company man. So like, I'm not really into the corporate world. And one of the things that I realized that, every time I left a corporate job and somehow I got into contracting or consulting, and I like the flexibility of that. And, but the money is great, but like having time off from the work, you've got to really negotiate that. That's one thing I've learned. I think I've always been kind of an old soul.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, all I focused on was being a kid. I like when I had friends who were, and I don't think fast is the word for it, that they wanted to have experiences. I wasn't adult type of experiences. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking, I want to enjoy, having no just being a kid. Like, I didn't want, I already had like little responsibilities at home, but I like the fact that I could go out and do whatever I want, right? Within reason. But for me, what I learned as these things are happening is, I always had to have a backup plan. I don't spend money frivolously. I mean, not that I haven't like wasted money on stuff. I mean, I did that in college and said, damn, I should have like ate out less. And, I could have put like $10 a month in, some sort of like insurance or whatever, life insurance or whatever. But you don't know until you know, right?
And then, but they say, I don't mean to cut you off, but those are also things that we weren't taught.
Right. I didn't know that until my big old age. But it's taught me to be more self-reliant.
Yeah.
But also leaning more into community, right? Not thinking that I'm a man that's on an island.
Yeah.
I never thought that. And that's one thing that I've always really, my personal growth has pushed me back more into community. And community doesn't mean it's always the people that you grew up with or went to school with or went to church with or you go to work with. Your community is how you make your connections.
Very true.
Which is what we do here at Gurl Whet Podcast. So if you want to be a part of the community, reach out to us, girlwhetpodcast@gmail.com.
And we gonna answer.
What's our next question?
All right. So, do you have any animals that give you hope or make you smile when you see them? If so, what animal and why does it bring you joy?
Oh my goodness. This is gonna sound kind of weird. I like cheetahs. Okay. Because they're fast and, what they say and I kind of like almost any cat from Africa, like big cat.
No nonsense.
Oh, of course, especially the lionesses, because they're the real hunters of the pride. Because it's primarily when the pride goes out to hunt, it's a whole bunch of females and one male.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like that's very indicative of like kind of like is mirrored in the Black community. Women out and getting it. Not saying that men don't, but like there's a sense of community in that hunt, and it gives me hope because I see stuff in nature that was like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Like, how in nature that the female does the picking for mating. And now we're in our 4B movement where women are like, nope, I'm opting out. I love that for us. What about you?
Next. I have two.
Okay.
So the first one is a dragonfly. And what'd you say?
I love dragonflies.
So I'm gonna say, I don't even know how to say this, but so my aunt has always loved dragonflies.
They're supposed to be in good luck, right?
So yes, right. So, and this is something that I had never really known, but it's really funny how this comes full circle. So when my grandma passed, my aunt said, if anything, like, because pretty much my grandma was in hospice, so my mom and her sisters took turns being with my grandma. My mom's sister right under her had said, if anything, she hoped she wasn't in the person in the room when my grandma died. And she was. She ended up being the one in the room when my grandma passed. But she said right after she, got herself together and walked outside, she saw like a bunch of dragonflies. So it's like, like that was indicative of like grandma kind of just letting her know that she's there with her.
Aww.
So at my grandma's funeral, like, and just throughout like many of our family occasions, we always see butterflies. I mean, excuse me, not butterflies.
Dragonflies.
We always see dragonflies. And so I always am like, okay, Graham, girl, I see you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that brings me joy just knowing like, okay, this is something we know and we've seen like consistently to make us know that, okay, you're sending us a sign to let us know that even though you're not here physically, you're still with us. And then my other one is butterflies.
Okay. I love butterflies too.
And
They
the
don't bite.
Right. They don't. The significance of the butterfly for me, before I had my legs amputated, I actually had three butterflies on my foot. And the butterfly goes through a process of change, you know? So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I see a butterfly and I'm like, yep, like you made it through your transformation. You made it through, you know, your stages of having to get to this beautiful creature that you are. Um, but for when I had my tattoo, I'd gotten it. So again, butterflies signify change for me. And so I'd gotten it on my foot because, of course, you have to use your feet to get you to where you
You're
need to
going.
go. And then my favorite number was three. So that's why I ended up getting three butterflies. So it's just always something that I see because honestly, I don't see too many butterflies often anymore.
What?
And so it's like one of those things where it's like when I see the butterfly, I'm like reminded, okay, like yes, like
I'm gonna have to get you
you've
one of
gone
those
through that
kits
change.
that attract butterflies for you at your porch.
True, very true. But the onyx will probably try to eat it up though.
Oh, don't let him do that. Onyx, be a good boy.
But you know, just still definitely, it's a beautiful significance of change for me because it's like, of course, when you see a caterpillar, people are always just like, not always, but a lot of people try to squish them or
What? Don't be
you know
doing
just
that
try
to the
to end
hungry
their life.
caterpillar.
But I'm like, this is the beginning of a process, just like everybody has to go through in life.
The
So that's
phase.
something that is like, you know, just beautiful for me. Just that whole circle of like, okay, this is where we're starting and this is where we're ending. Like,
Yeah.
just as a reminder, we too are like butterflies. You have these phases that you have to go through to get to where you, to that, even though you might not see the beauty, there's beauty in the process.
Yes.
So,
It's
yeah.
about the journey, not the
Yeah,
destination. That's right.
for sure. All right, so the last question for this segment. All right, for anyone who may feel lost or stuck in life right now, what advice would you give them?
Well, first off, I would say that, I always like to come from internal perspective, like registering yourself and understanding yourself. And one of the things you need to understand about yourself is your triggers, right? And I know some people might not want to hear this, but therapy works wonders. You might not get the right, mental health professional the first time, but that's why you have to do research and lean on your community, people that are in the field that can help you. I've gotten a lot of recommendations that were not only for myself, but, my oldest child. And, my advice would be like, do some healing.
Yeah. And then the follow up to that, do you think the season that they're in could be their season of a certain animal, preparing them for what's next to come in their lives?
Most definitely. Most definitely. But I think you have to be real with yourself about who you are.
Yeah.
Right. If you recognize what season you're in, because some people get stagnant and they think things are supposed to stay the same. And honey, it don't.
Seasons change.
Yes. Whereas our bodies change, and I think I see a lot of people making comments about their bodies and getting older, and specifically people that are older than us. And I'm starting to see it in my generation a little bit. And I'm just like, y'all didn't think you were gonna get old? I mean, like, I knew I was gonna get old when I was a kid. I used to say, I wish I lived till I'm 100 years old, and I meant that with every part of my chest. You know what I mean? So, but I saw beauty in the elders in my community. Like, I look up to them,
Right.
and I look at age as a sign of wisdom and something to obtain. And sitting at my grandfather's feet, learning and hearing stories and just absorbing that stuff, that's not something you can get from someone the same age as you, or even 10 years older, or even 20 years. It's so much in listening to someone else's story,
Right.
that I listened to so many stories. It really prepared me for life, and I didn't make as many mistakes as I could have, had I not just listened.
Yeah.
What about you? What for anyone, what's your advice to give to them who's stuck or lost?
Push through.
Only way over is through.
Push through. I was going to say, and I can say that just kind of also going back to the butterfly statement, just you have phases of life. life is like a roller coaster. So you're gonna have your ups and you're gonna have your downs. Just make sure you realize these things, so you won't end up on a hamster wheel, and having to keep going through those things. So that's pretty much all I have.
So, just for our audience, if you got feedback, please complete a short survey in any of our YouTube episode descriptions. We'd really love to hear what you have to say about our current episodes. If there's a specific topic you'd like us to speak on, please reach out to us. You can remain anonymous. I don't think we have anything that tells anybody's name, but we'd love to have feedback from our audience. So, on that note, we're going to head to commercial. We'll see you back in a moment. Welcome back to Gurl, Whet podcast. And we're headed into our final segment of the group chat got deep. And we're going to keep digging. Keep digging.
Digging up them holes, digging. Okay.
Oh, okay.
If anybody, I told you, Holes was one of the movies that I loved growing up.
Couldn't tell.
All right, so we're gonna jump right into it. What's something you're tired of and you have the ability to make a change?
Oh my gosh, my attitude sometimes. But on a real note, I'm tired of racism and sexism. True. Do I have ability to make a change? I can definitely make an impact by educating people and like we use our platform to talk about things that are really important and, giving insight on what that looks like for us and people who want to listen. Unfortunately, you're going to be made to listen because we're at a precipice right now where there's going to be a lot of mad people who are sick and tired. Mm-hmm. So my ability in this is I understand that I control myself.
Right.
So when those things happen to me, I know how to respond to that. Right. I usually like trying to, flip it and reverse it and make them look dumb. I'm good at that.
But no, and I understand and I totally agree with that. And then one thing kind of to add on to what you said would also be, how can you, or, you have the ability to make that change. You can X those people out of your lives. And I know you definitely don't have a problem with that at all. Nope. Those people who think that they can have multiple opportunities to disrespect, or what do they say? Oh, I'm just joking. No, behind every joke is a little bit of truth.
So, jokes are the base of the pyramid of abuse. So
it's just like, I'm seeing through you. Like, you're not going to, quote unquote, joke me into believing that I need to keep you around. Because
you mean gaslight?
Listen, 2000%. I was like, no,
let's call it what it is.
We not doing that. That's like we too far past that. And then again, even with situations or conversations that you and I have had, off mic, even people close to us, if they try to gaslight you, like, call it out for what it is, because it's like, I'm not going to allow you to do that. Like, don't think you can get away with these things, because that's not the case at all.
That's right.
So it's just like, yes, I can love you, but I'm gonna love you from a distance, because no.
Yeah, I wish y'all could see her face right now. About yourself.
I wish y'all could see her face right
now. If you had the opportunity to go back and speak with your younger self, would you give yourself a warning, a pep talk, or something else to help the current you be more prepared for life?
I would give a pep talk.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. What would that pep talk sound like?
And mine, I was about to say, honestly, again, because I've said before, I was always and I won't say it was I lied. I was insecure. So there were a lot of things where I was quiet in a sense. Mm-hmm. But I would tell myself, like, hey, like, you got this. You're born to stand out. You're born to be different. Like, it's okay to speak your mind. It's okay to say what you need to say. Mm-hmm. People are not going to like what you say, and that's totally all right.
Yep.
You're not here to fit in. Like, you were born to stand out. So from the beginning, where you want to bite your tongue or things like that, like, let people know that what you believe is what you believe, and there's nothing that's going to shake that. Because I think a lot of times when I was younger, because again I was the fat kid, I wanted to make sure I fit in. So it was like I would hold my tongue on a lot of things that I knew were wrong, or I knew somebody should have stood up for something against, what everybody else was going. So as I've gotten older, clearly I'm against the grain, and I will say what I need to say when it needs to be said. If I need to go back and apologize later with some of the things I say, sometimes I definitely have no problem with doing that as well. But I just don't want people to think that I am any type of a pushover. So, just tell my younger self, hey, like, you can be who you are without allowing people to you know, push you over and think that they could take you for granted. What about you?
I would go back and encourage my younger self to leave them boys alone. Make the moves that you want to make. That don't make a decision because you feel like you're in love. Like, I made the decision after college to stay instead of following like my idea of like traveling the world, because I was in love, and that really set me back. I would have told her be a Miss Haversham. And if you don't know who Miss Haversham is, it is the older woman from Great Expectations who essentially a wealthy eccentric woman who suffered a devastating heartbreak on her wedding day when her fiance abandoned her and never showed up at her ceremony. So like when she actually adopted this young girl named Estella, and she taught her how to specifically break men's heart as an act of revenge against the male sex. I wouldn't necessarily say I would go that far, like being bitter, because I'm not bitter about that. It's just like, hey, like what you think is love is really not love. Yeah. Like you feel love, but this person is not love, yeah. Right? It was just more of about control for this person, and learn how to differentiate from that. Gotcha. That's the only thing I would do differently. Like everything else I've done in my life, I don't regret at all. So that's the little tidbit I would tell myself: be meaner earlier. But you don't know until you know.
And that honestly is something else I was gonna say after you said, like you kind of cut your thoughts off of traveling the world. Because when I found out I was pregnant, literally, so I found out I was pregnant 3 weeks after I graduated from college. I had already planned to move to California. I had it all set up. Like I'd had everything, like literally everything was, it was just go mode at that point. So when I found out I was pregnant, me being nice, stayed on the East Coast.
Girl, you know how I feel about being nice.
Because
I don't do nice.
Because I'm like, oh, okay, well, his family is on this side, and it's easier for things for everyone. But now, in hindsight, it's kind of like you should have made that move. Like, in a sense, I should have made that move because I wouldn't be where we are now. But you know what I'm saying? I feel like experiences would have been had, and I probably would have ended up moving back home because I've even up and down the East Coast, I've been gone and come back. But like I feel like moving to California for what I wanted to move out there for would have definitely given me a lot of experience and just helped me be further in my career. But again, everything happens for a reason. But again, yes, the niceness would have been nipped in the bud.
Yeah. I mean, I think we were conditioned to be nice, yeah. Right? I had a little mean streak when I was younger. Like I, had to learn how to curb my tongue. But when it came to boys, because I grew up with boys, it was a little different. I wasn't so I had a lot of friends that were like, they say boy crazy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't boy crazy. Like I did have crushes, but like I would let them go as soon as I got them. You know what I mean? It was nothing serious.
Yeah.
My biggest goal was focusing on my future. But what's one piece of encouragement you'd give our listeners?
Keep going. Like, again, just
keep
kind of,
swimming.
yeah.
Just keep swimming. Just keep digging.
My go-to saying always is a speed bump is not a stop sign. And with that, it's like, you may have to defer some of the things that you want to get done, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to abandon it altogether.
I'm sorry.
Again, as we've kind of mentioned before, you have to sometimes go through life experiences to help you with what your dream is. So, like for me, even now, like with me, with all of my medical stuff and my amputations and everything like that, I like to talk to people. I love talking, right? I'd always wanted to do radio. Like that's what I went to school for, do radio. Um, Graduated when the first recession was going on, so it was crazy. And then, like I said, I found out I was pregnant like right after. But if I hadn't been through all of that, again, all of these life lessons, like I wouldn't be here today. And then one of the other things that I now want to do is I actually want to be like a public speaker and go like on tours and tell my story, because it's like, again, like when I was laying in the hospital bed, like God literally said to me, a speed bump is not a stop sign. So it's like, while I'm deferring everything I have for you, like this is part of your story, because I know you don't have a problem sharing everything you've been through to be that beacon of hope for others.
And anyone that follows you on Instagram should know with your Instagram stories.
Right. Because I'm all like, and honestly, like, because I've been unemployed, like, y'all, I've been itching to go somewhere. Because, me and my child will, like, get up and go. Like, I will take us in a heartbeat anywhere. So, even, like, both of us have been like, this is weird. Let's just be in here. And people are like, you still go traveling? Like, why wouldn't I? So it's just like, life is going to throw you curveballs. You're going to catch them and you're going to throw them back out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's not going to be anything where you need to stop, and you might have a hissy fit, but don't let that hissy fit take over.
Well, okay. I like that. To add on to that, one piece of encouragement is just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Nothing beats a fail except for a try. And as far as like how can, someone who's feeling stuck or unable to do what they initially want, how can they pivot and make their dream a reality? Just do it. Just a little bit about me. I had always wanted to publish a book, and I actually saved up money in 2016. And then I found out I was pregnant with my second child. And I'm like, well, there goes that.
Right.
Because now that's going to go into this child. And the beginning of last year, when the orange regime came in and I saw everything that was, the writing on the wall, I said, there's no better time than now to work on that book.
Yep.
And so I just did it. And everything, the ancestors in the universe just lined everything up. I've had so many people just come into my life that has been a part of my writing community that has made it possible, from like a writing coach to a business coach and publisher, my line editor, my beta readers. So a lot of these things just came because I just did it. And was I scared? Hell to the yeah. Hell to the yeah. But that's only due to conditioning, because we are taught to rely on someone else, corporate, like a check that's supposed to be standard, but that's not true, because what we're learning is that is not reliable. We are reliable, and I have leaned into my community, and my community has showed up for me. So I know I'm on the path I'm supposed to be. So if you're scared, just to rip off the Band-Aid and do it. Just start somewhere, build a community, and that's where it starts.
Period. Period. No, and then just kind of add on to that, Esther actually, in her need to, and I don't even know what to call it, honestly, in her need or her want or her to want to continue with her book, actually correlated a few small groups of like women to write.
The Women Who Write workshop.
So I actually attended a few of those workshops, and I have been like, one thing that I know I need to do is write a book as well. So even in the midst of that, like, even though she needed that push, she was still able to push others to bring their talent to the light as well. So I feel even with you doing that, that has also kind of been like a spark that has allowed you to get further along in your journey. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I'm going to be making a virtual workshop. I'm doing all the preliminary work while I'm publishing this book. to happen in the spring. So I'm going to count you on to come.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's going to be so much bigger. But we need to do the Dassit. So we're going to talk about what happened in this episode of I'm Tired of This Grandpa. On our first segment of What's the Tea, Sis, we said, well, too damn bad, where we talked about August celebrations. And we talked about topics in Richmond that are getting too much attention, those that haven't gotten enough attention, and why we think that is. And then we went on break, came back for Baby Love and Other Grownfolx Business, and talked about lizards, where we provided what lizards represent, and if we feel like we've been rushed into growing up. And then our final segment of the group chat got deep. We said keep digging, where we talked about giving a reminder that we and our listeners got this and to keep life going. Life will certainly throw you miscellaneous curveballs, but we've got it to keep going forward with those goals that we set by any means necessary. So thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode of Girl What podcast. Lo, did you want to take us out?
Bye. Stay connected to Girl What podcast by following us online. You can follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Girl What podcast. That's GURLWHET We'd love to keep in touch with you. Come on, keep talking with us. That's what we do, right? Mm-hmm. So we have our, reflections. If you have any questions, comments, or you yourself want to reflect on anything you've heard us talk about, please don't be afraid to hit us up. Again, you can hit us up in our DMs on Instagram, or if you want to comment under one of our YouTube posts, you're more than welcome to do so. Again, both of those handles are Girl What Podcast, GURLWHETPODCAST.
And you also have the option to leave us a voice memo in our DMs or leave us a voice message at 804-476-0905. Again, that number is 804-476-0905. And with your permission, we may feature it in a future episode. Your voice helps us shape meaningful dialogue on Girl What. So remember to stay in community. Remember to stay bold. And girl, keep talking.